Welcome ladies and gentlemen to another casted game, and today we have 01 playing as the New Horizon faction on the southeast corner of the map in the northwest. We have Global Risk played by Ziggo. Now both these players really well known to us on the channel now. I've casted so many of these. So these guys have been playing this game for a while now, and I've developed some incredible strategies. I'd love to see how both of these guys play out these two factions. The map is Mountainside, which is the typical map for the 1v1 PvP gameplay mode. Let's just see what both players tend to do. So now there is a worker going forward for Ziggo, going for some scouting information perhaps, or maybe a extra core base. Let's just see what he goes for. Looks like he's going to go for his typical aggressive opening. I have seen Ziggo play quite a few times now. He's quite an aggressive player. He's going down for his barracks opening first. We see the worker for the New Horizon faction played by 01 look to put down a second core base. I think he's just waiting for it. Should be about ready soon. And the other worker going forward for 01 just get some scouting information to see what is up with the Global Risk player. Okay, so the second core base is down now, looking to produce some workers and use the materials at his disposal. Okay, a couple of troopers out from this first barracks for Ziggo. Hasn't yet got his second core base down just yet. He's not looking to do that. Perhaps he's going to go a bit more aggressive with the troopers. A worker does come forward for 01. We see this often being done just to look at the scouting information, just to find out what is happening. And a couple of troopers now, 5 in total, is going to look to put some pressure early on, I suspect. So Global Risk versus New Horizon. There is a barracks put down now for New Horizon, played by 01. Alright, so guys, we've casted quite a few games. You've probably seen a lot of games from me being casted already. What do you guys make of the game? I've been really enjoying watching it. Some really cool strategies. We're starting to learn about the dynamics of counter units. And yeah, let me know what you think about the game in the comment section below. I would love to see this game do incredibly well and grow as a community. Because really it just does look like a really fascinating game to play. It could also develop into a good esports perhaps. And we see a Global Risk core base going down now, the second one for him. A little bit later than we would expect, well, if you compare it to 01, but of course we have a lot of infantry here which offer a lot of protection, and we might see, I wonder if the vampire saw that. I wonder if the vampire saw all those troopers, because the troopers perhaps should go forward sometime soon, because he's going to be behind on economy, that's for sure. And so we'll want to pile on some pressure, not really give the free booming which 01 has been able to have. We see a factory go down now, which is in great timing for Ziggo. That's where the resources have been going. He's going to go in to get some vehicles out. Hey, perhaps maybe a Cavalier, maybe a Phalanx. We saw a game between these two where Ziggo did go for a lot of Cavalier, and he showed the power of that unit. I wasn't kind of aware of how powerful they can be in large numbers, but they really can be. So let's just see what it goes for once this factory is up and running. Second core base is buzzing away for New Horizon here. He's got 3 sentry turrets to protect that as well. He does have a couple of vampires on the field, just healing up here now on the right side, did triage center, and it's going to get some scouting intel. Troopers are moving forward. We'll see if they can get some damage. There are quite a few sentry turrets though, so he's going to have to make his way through that first. A second factory going down. Is he going to double downing? He's going to go for some military in terms of vehicles. We see a Cavalier, maybe a second Cavalier from the second one. We'll see what he decides to do. We've seen Cavalier spamming working quite well. Could be a new meta for the Global Risk faction, to be totally honest. I think we see the vampires. Yeah, the vampires just kind of hiding out here, getting some scouting intel. Okay, the Cavaliers are going to go on the left, on the right side of the map as well. Troopers are just cycling around, not being too active. Got quite a lot of military on the field. There's going to need to do some damage quickly, otherwise, you know, the New Horizon boom is well underway. R&D lab. What? We see a level 3 upgrade going for his primary core base. This could be huge. He could get a couple of titans and just wipe all of this out. So guys, we've seen some incredible strategies, but could this be the first second core base into Titan rush strategy? Only a couple of vampires will put on the field. He's going to upgrade his vehicle assembly. A couple of sentry, well, I say couple, a lot of sentry turrets there. And again, 0-1 doing his favoured strategy of getting some sentry turrets forward just to prevent the expansion to the third core base. He doesn't have the third core base to himself either. A lot of troopers there guarding that area. I think we're going to see some Titans, guys. A Titan or two could really make a big difference. A couple of workers are unfortunately idle for the New Horizon and 0-1. Alright, so looks like the troopers are just sort of guarding the area. They're not really kind of engaging too much. I suspect maybe behind this we do see the Cavalier spam coming out for the Global Risk faction player. What an annoying sentry turret going down there for 0-1. That's got to be so frustrating sometimes. The Cavaliers will take care of this. Doesn't get to do much damage at all, apart from just be a bit of a nuisance and distraction. The troopers are making their way to the sentry turrets here, and as well as the Cavalier. And this just buys time for 0-1. I love the way he uses these sentry turrets. This is not necessarily something that he is too sad about losing, but it just buys him time. And it buys him time for what? The Titan. Okay, a power node, 2 power nodes going down. Look at this core base here. So well protected with an Orion as well. And we're going to see a Titan popping out of that factory, that vehicle assembly soon. We see a little worker come there, cheeky work. Oh, that's actually New Horizon worker, that's fine. I thought it might have been a scout for the Blacklist player. A third core base going down. This is not going to be able to stay up, I'm afraid. I don't know if that was destroyed or whether that was salvaged by 0-1. I suspect it was probably salvaged. We'll see how this game pans out. When we get a tire. Oh my god, it's coming out. The Titan's coming out, boys. It's here. It's getting this ground stomp unlock as well. Oof, this Titan's going to be a beast. We've seen this kind of pan out before, this sort of game with Titans involved, and these guys are beastly. They can do a lot of damage. Zero-1 certainly protecting his eco, making sure that, you know, the Cavaliers can't just swarm in, and the Titan starts to do some work. The Global Risk faction player is going to want to mass up a lot of units. Can go for phalanx perhaps, maybe needs to switch, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's getting 2 phalanx out of those vehicle factories, and is going to be able to hopefully do some. Oh, these infantry are going to take a bad fight. This is bad, this is bad, this is bad. Brave soldiers, rest in peace. Now we knew that was going to happen, guys. I think really the Global Risk faction player kind of knew that was going to happen. The infantry are pretty useless at this stage of the game now. We've got to the levels where really infantry don't necessarily add too much to the game, unless they're Lycans. Actually, Lycans can be doing quite a bit of damage and pretty quite a good job actually. Often Lycans, but we don't see any of those on the field. We see a Titan and an Orion, and I suspect we're going to see a second Titan on the field. Now, what I'd love to see, we've seen it before, hopefully we see it again, is a little bit of a teleporting action. The forward base established here, again with the sentry turrets, just offering some time. The Titan hovering in behind, not getting in the action though, surprisingly. Needs to get in on this. He's going to fire, but he's going to miss because the Cavalier have great mobility here. They could just get out of the way. Okay, so this is actually really nice macro for the Global Risk player. To be able to afford all of this is really impressive, considering he went to the second core base a lot later than his opponent, and he has actually expanded to the third core base now as well. So this game, guys, could go in the favor of the Global Risk player, because he has got perhaps even a better economy now. He does need to deal with the Titan, though. This thing is so tanky. It's going to have to find an answer to this. It does have 4 phalanx. Will we see the hull down ability? I'm not so... Whoa. Okay, I'll take that back. There are 3 Titans on the field. That's an insane number of Titans. Absolutely insane numbers here. I don't know if the phalanx are going to be able to hold this off. I mean, just these things are so tanky. And I think with an Orion here as well, the Orion's going to be healing up that. You can see that the Orion is just patching up this Titan. This Titan might go down here on the right though. Although actually no, this Phalanx probably died before he's able to do anything. And yeah, the Titans are hugely powerful. It's hard to see a way back now because these 3 Titans. I wonder if he's massing up. It's not. He needs to mass up here, the Global Risk faction player. It does have 2 Phalanx, but look, this Orion just healed this player, this Titan up basically to full health again. And this is the Titan push. And in fact, really 0-1 doesn't need to go to that 3rd core base expansion, to be totally honest, because these guys take 20 population a pop. So that's 60 population space here in units. This Titan is very low health though. If the Global Risk player can just focus on this one Titan, you might be able to get rid of it, but the Titan is making a run for it and gets away. This Titan also is getting quite damaged. This could go either way actually. But unfortunately the micro isn't quite just there yet for the Global Risk player. If he just takes down this one Titan, that's one less Titan to deal with. But he's not focus firing on it. I feel like this fight could have gone a completely different way if this Titan wasn't there. But there we are. But the game's not over yet, and the 3rd core base is active and running. We've got a lot of workers. 16, 60. And 15. Wait. We see 4 Titans on the field now. How can he afford this in terms of population space? I suppose he's just stopped producing anything else anyway. Whoa. He's getting more Titans. Alright, it's full Titan play, guys. Oh, did we lose some Titans here? No, we didn't. I think we may have lost 1 Titan. Might lose another. Gonna try and make a dash for it. He's going to be able to use the ability before it gets destroyed. He walks away. There's 3 Titans on the field now. But the Phalanx are really starting to build up in numbers. 4th Titan on the field. This is a great game so far. I hope you guys are enjoying it. This Titan is having to back off as well. And the Phalanx numbers are really producing. I would love to see them use the hull down ability. I don't know if Ziggo knows about the hull down ability, but it makes the Phalanx less mobile, but it lets them tank a lot more damage. Oh, we see another Titan go down with a massive explosion there. 3 more on the field though. Oh, there's another Titan that might be going down. Pretty low health here. Will it go down? That's the question. I believe it does. Does it? No, it doesn't. It stays alive. It stays alive. He's trying to focus fire though, the Global Risk player, and it does go down. We'll see another explosion. You'd love to see it. Okay, a 3rd Titan on the field again now. Still 3 on the field. 0-1 doing a good job of replenishing the numbers. And we see a big stalemate fight, guys. Honestly, I don't know who's going to take this one. I feel like macro-wise, well, we do see 0-1 now having expanded to the 3rd core base. So, could be anyone's game, I have to say. Alright, so 3 Titans versus 4 Phalanx. There is only 1 winner here. Oh, but we see another 2 Phalanx come on board, and this Titan might go down. It's very expensive for 0-1 to lose his units, it has to say. This could be a really pivotal point in this game. Oh, there's a bit of pathing issue here. They're really stuck around this site tower. Explosions look great, guys, and the Phalanx numbers are starting to overwhelm, and looks like 0-1 has to back off now with the Titans. The Titans cannot take this fight. There is 1 more which is really low health. He's getting away with it though. He's going to manage to come back, and there is a third Titan joining these two. But both Titans are really low health now. This is now the time that if the Global Risk faction player can push forward. Oh, okay, yeah, he can. He's got a lot of phalanx, and I think now we start to see a really definitive push. Quite a few sentry turrets being put down on this third core base, but two of these Titans are so low health, they're going to go down pretty quickly, and the push is coming. Wait, what happened? Alright, the phalanx went down the other way, just to flank, and now we see a really strong push here by the Global Risk player. Oh, a fourth Titan. This could be tricky here for the Global Risk player. There's quite a few Titans here, but the core base and the workers are being destroyed here, and so that's certainly going to hurt the economy of 0-1. But 4 Titans on the field, oof. 3 of them, oh my god, there's a 5th Titan. 0-1 has not finished with this game yet, that's for sure. Does need to get rid of these 2 Titans because they're doing a lot of damage on just such little health. But we see now 4 Titans on the field, and oof, I thought those phalanx could deal with it. But maybe we see a bit of an army switch. I suspect so, because we haven't seen many phalanx being produced for Ziggo. I wonder whether he's getting air units instead, whether he's upgraded his core base or not. I'm not entirely sure. Doesn't seem like it. Still on core base level 3. I'm just not sure where the units have gone for the Global Risk faction player. Okay, we might see another pushback now. Alright, let's just see what's happening down here. That phalanx unfortunately is going to go down. It's going to be a massive chance now for 0-1 to recover. We see the worker there. Is that worker healing? I think it is. Yeah, I think he's repairing. And we do see the re-establishment of the third core base for 0-1. But we see another influx of phalanx army coming forward. Needs to focus fire some of these weak... oh my god, the Titans are going to heal themselves on the triage center. That's going to be massive. Oh, that core base has been taken care of. Phalanx are going to come up from both directions, but this triage center is definitely going to be helping him. I mean, to be honest, really, this could be a really big window of opportunity. If the Global Risk player just goes on here on the right... Okay, can't really, there's so many sentry turrets there. And there is a switch now for 0-1 to the Pegasus. Now this certainly is big brain play, because the phalanx can't do anything about it. We do see the hull down ability being used though. You can see the extra armor on that tank. Really nice to see that being used. But we see now with the Pegasus, that's going to do a lot of damage for the phalanx. But we do see the Cavalier that look to be firing on the Pegasus. Okay, the Titans are really good health, and they're going to come back and join the fight as well. So 0-1 is switching pretty much to Pegasus as the main unit, and does have 2 Titans on the field already still, so 3 rather. 3, oh jeez, okay. And this is such a crazy army. Alright, we see the hull down ability for the phalanx though being used here. Ooh, the 3 Titans are just causing mayhem. Oh, we see a 4th core base going down for the Global Risk player. He's got an anti-air turret as well, because of course the Pegasus are running around. They're flying around causing mayhem. But it does now mean that Ziggo has transitioned back into more Cavalier units to be able to deal both damage to ground and air units. So we see both these phalanx with the hull down ability being used. I wonder whether these materials have expired. No, there's still quite a lot there, 2,000 left there. Oh, but these 2 Titans are quite low in health, so if these can be taken down, this could change the tide of the war. the Cavalier are actually doing pretty decent damage to them, I have to say. And there goes one. We might see another go down as well, but again, the units numbers, wow, that's a lot of Pegasus going down. Four air assemblies, 4 air aerodromes for 0-1. Full transition here into air units. We don't see any transition to air units for the global risk player. He's sticking with the Phalanx, he's sticking with the Cavaliers, and primarily ground units. We do see a massive raid here though. A lot of workers have been killed for 0-1. It does have his primary core base, but what I would say macro wise is that Ziggo is on 3 core bases, so he should be able to replenish his army. Well, I take that back. 4. He does have a 5th one there. This one's not really producing, and that's fair enough. But he does have 4 core bases producing workers to get the materials. And oh, this is going to go down. What an intense explosion! All right. Now we do see a lot of Pegasus here. Going to swoop in, cause a lot of problem, and this is going to be tricky for the global risk player. It doesn't have any anti-air kind of units here. Needs more Cavalier. Needs to get air units of his own if he can, but it looks like he's going to just stick with the Cavalier for now. Maybe tank a bit of the damage with the Phalanx. And he's going to need more than this. He's not taking hugely effective fights. He does have the better economy, which will certainly be helpful. I think he's going to get anti-air turrets. There we are. We see the anti-air turrets, which is really, really important. And the good thing is he doesn't have too many workers here that he has to protect, but the anti-air turrets, oof, they're not really doing much damage, are they? He's got a death ball of these Pegasus. I thought these were meant to be anti-air turrets, damn it. And this could be this is a really strong push. All things considered, I mean, he doesn't have, 0-1 doesn't have that many units, or in terms of workers, and he's got a depletion of his core base, and so does Ziggo. They need to be aware of that. There's a lot of idle there. A lot of idle workers. Oof, that's a lot of Pegasus. That's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 3, 15, 16 Pegasus there. And he's going to heal them up in the triage center. Oof, wow, we see the calm before the storm again. I think everything's started to calm down a little bit. Cavalier are coming forward this way. I'm not entirely sure why. Does he sense something happening? There's no Lycans on the field, but he's just a bit worried about his first primary core base. This is the core base which is fully upgraded to 3rd level. So he's just going to be worried about that, losing that. And the new workers are all going to have to go to the 2nd core base for 0-1 because he's run out of materials on his first one. But it looks like full Cavalier switch, which is expected. He needs that anti-air units to be on the field here. There's so many Pegasus here. The 2 of the Cavaliers are going to be caught out, perhaps. Manages to regroup, and there's going to be a big fight here now, I think. Yeah, the Pegasus will clean this up. Oh, we see an ability being used here. The rally ability, but too little too late, and there's just too many Pegasus. He only lost 2 Pegasus out of that whole fight, and this core base is going down. And now what's so good about this aerial switch is that these units, they can just fly over to the main core base. Don't have to worry about this obstruction here at all. Oh, what do we see here? We see a heck of a lot of sentry turrets being placed. That's what we see. Okay, so there's a bit of stabilizing now. 0-1 notices that, you know, he has to make sure this is safe because this core base will hold the key to his victory. He needs the materials from them. Has run out on his primary core base, and unfortunately Ziggo just hasn't noticed. There's a good like 10 workers here are completely idle, which is really bad for him, unfortunately, at this stage of the game. The Pegasus are nicely healed up and regenerated, and they're just going to start a push on the right side here, take care of this core base with ease, and then move out forward. Cavalier are starting to mass up though. 0-1 not in any rush to take a fight though. and we'll make short work of that core base. And now it looks like the Cavalier are going to switch out back to the left core base, maybe try and reacquire it, maybe do some damage. He's going to run into a wall of sentry turrets. Oof. There's no way there that you can go and get some damage, unfortunately. And the air units are going to make their way to the third core base, and it's going to cause a lot of damage. And this does seem like a bit of a death ball of the phalanx. Sorry, phalanx? The Pegasus units. You see radiation zone going down for 0-1, as well as the null field. You do see the little herald here offering a boost in terms of shield, which is the sonic shield. Incoming damage is reduced by the herald sonic shields. I don't think that's going to be enough. There's just too many Pegasus here that are going to sweep away these units. We see the fire at will ability being used here though. We should get some damage on the air units. But no, the air units just get out of the way. And they're not really too worried about this now. I have to say the sonic shield is doing pretty well though. The herald goes down and now these Cavalier are hugely exposed. 0-1 adding reinforcements, making good for a slow push, and maybe even thinking about getting his fourth core base, but he's quite happy to settle on 3 now, it seems. This is a big fight here, with the null field being placed by 0-1, and I'm going to have to take out these Cavalier, and if he does, which I suspect he will, this will be a strong place for him to push back from. Okay, so Ziggo having to pull back there with his Cavalier and try and defend his third core base. Okay, incredible game. I don't think I've seen a game like this in quite a while. Very back and forth, some really interesting unit switches and counters based on the scouting and the unit army compositions they were facing up against. At the moment we see Cavalier versus Pegasus, but I just wonder whether in store we have from Ziggo maybe a switch to an air unit. I don't see an airfield, and this materials facility is depleted as well. So he finally notices that whole time, unfortunately my friend, you had 10 workers idle for such a long time, and it's going to bring those forward. This materials facility is gone as well. On the left side here, core base being put down for Ziggo as well. Oh, wait. 0-1 just using workers to try and get rid of the anti-air turret. Very smart move there. Very smart move. And the shield's absorbing so much damage for these Pegasus. 0-1 using a null field. Ziggo using a rally ability. Alright, so I think the workers are starting to migrate. Oh, there's workers here idle, my friend. He's going to migrate to this materials facility. It only has one materials facility really extracting at the moment, whereas 0-1, the New Horizon, has, well, just one as well actually. That one's depleted, so they're both kind of making fights for the neutral core bases now. We don't see this all that often, I have to say. Very interesting play. It's not often that games have gotten to this stage where they compete for the neutral core base sites, and we're seeing it today, guys. You're witnessing a great game. A herald on the field now for global risk, as well as the Cavalier. So many Pegasus there that will be able to deal some damage, and it just seems like Ziggo is not able to safely take materials here. This is certainly a huge fight. Null field going down for 0-1. The Pegasus just always seem to be that much stronger. The Cavalier don't seem to be the strongest or best counter. Although having said that, a couple of Pegasus go down as well. It's a tough one to call. I take it back. The Cavalier are winning this. I take it all back. The Cavalier winning it, and 0-1 is forced to go back with just 5 Pegasus, but a heck of a lot of sentry turrets behind them. And this is great for Ziggo, because he can continue to reinforce. He has materials being brought in by this core base, whereas, you know, the New Horizon player 0-1 only has one core base actively working for materials, whereas technically Ziggo has 2. And now with the numbers advantage, this is just not a fight that 0-1 can take. Slowly but surely, I feel like this game is heading in the direction of Ziggo, but, well, let's face it, this has been a back and forth game. It could go either way. Who knows what this game has in store. let's not forget that there is a core base here available. And look, 0-1 may be looking to put some turrets there just to defend this position. If he can get access to this core base for materials here, that could be absolutely massive. And I think he sees it. I think he sees it. Ziggo, no, he doesn't. He doesn't know this is happening, and this could be huge. Ziggo doesn't have a clue that's happening, and if you had some scouting information there, that would have been so useful. And this gives some time as well for more Pegasus to pop out. And there are some anti-air turrets there for Ziggo though, so this core base should be relatively well protected. But I think does he see it now? He sees it now. The workers are there. There's a lot of turrets there. They're just about to go online, and the Cavalier are going to make their way and try and destroy these turrets, and they will. There's nothing that the 0-1 player can do about this, because there are anti-air turrets here, although to be fair they kind of melted to the Pegasus earlier, and there is a denial of this. And in fact, Ziggo says, no, this is mine. He's going for the core base, and we see a switch again. We saw a Titan. I don't know where it's gone, but there is a Titan on the field for 0-1. Holy moly, this is a crazy game. But I have to say, Ziggo looks to be in a really strong position now, having access to 3 materials facilities. Well, 2 so far, but we do see a sentry turret. This is so clever. There's a sentry turret, 3 sentry turrets here for 0-1, and he's not going to be able to take this material. So whilst he's denied it for 0-1, he's not going to be able to take it himself, that's for sure. We see 1 Pegasus go down, and that Titan is going to offer a lot of protection. Oh, we see some Phalanx now. Phalanx are on their way, because of course the Titan needs to be dealt with. But yeah, unfortunately this core base is pretty useless for Ziggo. It does have 2 core bases at least, producing workers, and the hull down. You can see the beautiful armor on those Phalanx. Guys, I love this game. The graphics are fantastic, and we see them focus fire on the Titan there and trying to bring that down. If you can bring this Titan down, this game changes quite a lot. Probably doesn't need to overinvest in the Phalanx just yet. Maybe 3 will do, and just need to continue producing these Cavalier. Cavalier have been great in this game so far. Oh, but we see something crazy here. We see the Pegasus just ignore the Cavalier completely. He knows that he can't really take a fight here, but neither can the Cavalier. There's too many sentry turrets, but oh my god, this is a great move. 0-1 is moving forward with his Pegasus. Looks like he's going to go for the production capabilities. If he takes out the production buildings, then that could be the end. But we see actually Ziggo not being baited by it. He's not going to head back. He's going to just try and destroy the sentry turrets and the workers. And if he does that, this could be a big change in the game. To be fair, these core bases are pretty useless now without the materials. Oh, the Cavalier. What happened to them? They seem like they melted. I don't know what happened to the Cavalier. I think the Cavaliers are being sent back. Yeah, that's a good move, because if the production buildings are down, and if this core base goes down, then that means he cannot produce any more of those buildings unless he gets the core base upgraded. And this is so great, because the Cavalier can't pass through here, but of course, the Pegasus can. Very clever here by 0-1. Great strategy here to buy himself some time. I'm probably going to get a Titan or 2. It's going to refresh and get some more of these sentry targets. Whew. Right, this game could go down to the wire. I suspect this game might go down all the way until we run out of materials, and they're probably both going to fight for this core base here. Which I have to say, really, it's going to be a difficult spot for 0-1 to push with these number of anti-air turrets. But the workers, as you see, they just cannot take that materials because of the 2 sentry turret, or 3 sentry targets rather, turrets. Okay, it's a bit of a quiet spell here, a quiet before the storm, silence before the storm. A couple of Phalanx there, and also a couple of turrets being put down on the site tower. I think that's by 0-1, must be. 0-1 loves his turrets. The Cavalier there as well, and we see a bit of a lag. Yep, okay, that corrected itself, thankfully. But the Titan really adds a depth to this fight. Huge amounts of shield. But it seems like 0-1 has the numbers advantage again. The Phalanx goes down and the Cavalier have to back off. And I just wonder again, it seems to be swinging in the other direction again, guys. Insane. Both players just down to... no, actually, I'm quite surprised because Ziggo has been on 2 core bases producing materials for quite a while. And he's going to lose this core base, I'm afraid, to the Titan and the Pegasus. But the Cavalier are swooping in now. And I wonder how much materials do we have left? Only 680 materials left on this material facility. That is huge because Ziggo needs to maintain control over this material facility, otherwise he cannot produce any more units. And this core base goes down and this is looking very bad. I think 0-1, if he can get hold of this area here, that might just spell the GG for the global risk faction player in Ziggo. Good micro here. Ziggo just making sure that he gets a couple of hits on the Titans for free, and he takes a couple of these Pegasus out for free, which is fantastic for him. He's gonna, he might suffer here with a big shot. Loses just 1 Cavalier there, which is good. And Orion comes on the field to repair. Oh my god, that Titan is so low health. He has to be sniped for the global risk faction, otherwise it would be so frustrating. Can he snipe it? He can't. He just can't do it. He can't get close without getting too much damage on him. Will he snipe the Titan? Does he see it? Does he see the health of the Titan? He's going for the Orion instead. He's going for the Orion. Yeah, that Titan got huge amounts of value. It does have this materials facility constantly pumping though. So this materials facility is completely depleted. This is the last and final material facility that Ziggo has access to. I wonder how much materials, well, 8,200 is not bad here for 0-1. Looks like Ziggo is healing up all his units. It's going to look to have a big fight, I think. He's going to need to extract as many materials from this as possible. I suspect, you know, ideally what you could do is bring all your workers, bring it to this materials facility just to get as much as you possibly can, as quick as you possibly can. Because frankly, efficiency at this point doesn't matter. You just need to gather all the resources you can. He's going to make sure he defends this well. He's got to get his units here because this is it. This is the key for the game. He hasn't given up on that core base there on the right side though. And this is the time for a big fight here. The Phalanx are going to be looking to focus on the sentry turrets rather, and the Ziggo is going to be using his Cavalier to try and focus on the Pegasus. There is a Titan there which is half. Oh, we see a Typhon coming in for New Horizon, which does a massive area of effect damage. Not the most accurate thing in the world, but it can do a lot of damage. And here we see it. All we see the dash and stomp ability for the Titan, but doesn't manage to stomp on any of the Cavalier. Oh, the Titan's going to get away with it again. This Titan has been absolute beast. Oh, he might not. He's going to get destroyed. Yep, he goes down with a huge explosion. And now the Cavalier and the Phalanx. The Phalanx gone for the hull down ability, and the Cavalier now is going to harass this core base. If he can get rid of this core base, this could be the GG, because there aren't any other materials that 0-1 can safely take at the moment. Oh, but there are 2 of these Typhons, mostly air units, and this is actually quite good for Ziggo because he can just focus on anti-air turrets and Cavalier. Do we see another Titan coming out? I don't see one myself. Nothing in the production queue. Probably can't afford it, to be totally honest. Complete depletion of his materials, and this is looking rough. It's going to come down to one big fight. Let's see how much materials is in this facility. Quite a lot. Essentially, at the moment, Ziggo has more access to materials than 0-1 does, and just needs to, I mean, if he can even get access to this would be incredible, but there are quite a few sentry turrets there. You'd have to take those out first. I think if you're Ziggo here, you're probably quite happy and content just to continue taking out the materials here from this core base and this materials facility. Oh, but there's a push here, so the Typhons, 3 Typhons and the Pegasus are going to be pushing forward. Oh, they're coming back, because the Cavalier noticed that, and the core base goes down for 0-1, and I think this could be the GG. The ability for 0-1 to produce any more units is pretty much gone. He has to have 500 materials just to reproduce his core base. That's materials he just cannot afford right now. Having said that, guys, Ziggo doesn't really have that many units on the map. He's replenishing, but he doesn't actually have that many units. Having said that, he does have this core base very secure now with these anti-air turrets. Doesn't have to force the issue at all, really. He probably knows this. He probably knows that he has the ability to access materials, whereas the New Horizon player just simply does not. He won't want to take a bad fight though. If he takes a bad fight and loses his units, that could spell the end of him. He doesn't want to throw this one away. Okay, core base is being put down for 0-1. He did have 500 materials as it is, and he's going to be able to use the remaining materials in this facility. Ooh, the turrets are getting damaged. He may need to repair these. Repairing the turrets would be a good idea. But let's see what he does and if he decides to do that or not. There are 3 Typhons and continues to produce more Pegasus. This is one hell of a game, guys. I think this is the longest game I've seen. Incredible scenes here. Yeah, could this be the last one of the last final battles? The Cavalier are swooping in now. They're going to try and take out a Typhon. They do. They take out a Typhon, and what a massive explosion with that. Materials aren't being gathered just yet because the core base isn't actually up and running. And this could be a good time for a fight for Ziggo, to be totally honest, because there's no active collection of materials, and so there can be no regeneration of army. This could snowball here. We see a Herald being used with the Sonic Shield ability, which is actually a really good move here. Incoming damage is reduced by the Herald's Sonic Shield. We see the Typhons getting in on the action, using the area of effect damage. A couple of Heralds here using Sonic Shield. This is quite useful actually. You can make a slow push here using the Sonic Shield ability just to protect his units, making sure that the Typhon have to focus on the Sonic Shield and the Herald units themselves. But they didn't actually do as much damage as I expected that they would. And it looks like another Typhon is going to go down with a huge explosion. Oh, materials facility is still not being actively mined, and I think now it's going to be difficult for 0-1 to come back. Oh my god, huge fights there, and the Typhons really came in clutch, the area of effect damage, and Ziggo has to go back with his tail between his legs. He has to go back and has to replenish his army, because that was such a big fight, huge fight there for 0-1. And now he can safely take his materials facility and repair his core base. Going to see some regeneration of the army. This core base, so much materials here which are just begging to be taken, but neither player can take safely. Where are the Pegasus? Where have they gone? I think we might see something incredible here. We've seen it before where New Horizon can use their teleportation ability. I don't know if we will see it. It would be absolutely incredible if they do. It doesn't seem like it because, yeah, this facility goes down and now New Horizon have no ability to gather more materials and expand. Only way is to expand out here, but it's just not going to happen, I don't think. So there's 4 Typhons. I suspect now 0-1 is just going to have to wait and just hope that his opponent makes a false move and just makes a bad move, bad play. But with so many materials still left in this facility, the ability to regenerate army as this goes on and on and on, I think this game is going to be heading in the way of Ziggo. But let's just see, you never know. You never know. Looks like 01 is going to assemble for one last push. There are 5 Typhons here, ready to go. Looks like 01 was trying to make a mad dash for this core base here. He's going to go forward with the workers. Oof. Those are all going to melt to the Cavalier. I don't know if he did that on purpose though. Maybe he did that on purpose. He's looking to free up population space perhaps. That could be it. But increasingly it just looks like it's a matter of time before Ziggo can mass up and take the fight and replenish his army as well. Heading back to this site tower. Could this be a mistake? If 01 notices that, he could go for this core base, which is being essentially the main materials gathering area. Ooh, okay, 6 Typhons now on the field. Let's just see which direction he heads towards. Cavalier are approaching. Yeah, this whole time Ziggo has been collecting materials, banking them up, can fill up that production queue, whereas 01 is looking on just for one big fight. And I think Ziggo knows this, so he wants to make sure he doesn't throw this game away. He wants to just bank as many resources as he possibly can, and then take a fight. Okay, Typhons are going forward now, trying to press the issue. Okay, this is probably going to be one of the final fights. Let's see what happens here. Typhons are ready to rock. You can see the projectiles coming out. Yeah, the area effect damage is incredible for these Typhons. I have to say, this could be huge. Typhons win this fight, and the Phalanx are absolutely useless in this situation. The Herald being used for the Sonic Shield. I suspect that's not going to be enough. The Typhons are incredibly strong with the projectiles. They're causing a lot of area effect damage, and they're going to take care of the Phalanx for sure. But it's the Cavalier that he has to be worried about here. New Horizon being played by 01. Okay, only down to 3 Typhons though, so the numbers are really starting to reduce, and 01 has no ability to replenish this. This looks like it's going to be heading to the end of the game. And is this a little bug? This is incredibly smart though. 01 just hiding here on top of the canyon or the ridge, just to reduce the amount of damage it can take for the Cavalier. But it's just a matter of time now. A bit of a formality. The Cavalier are just going to ignore this Typhon and going to go straight for the jugular. They're going to go straight for the core base, I think. And it all came down to this materials facility, and there we have it, guys. We actually had the game crashing here, unfortunately. I don't know if it was the end of the demo session, but it looks like this game was only heading one way. I'm definitely going to upload it to YouTube because it was a fantastic game either way. I think we can safely say this was heading in one direction. Hope you guys enjoyed this casted game, and if you did, do give the video a thumbs up. See you guys on the next video.